Okay, in this video, we'll do a relatively brief run through of how to do a blog post. There's it's a steep learning curve, I think, and there's a ton of different stuff you can do, but a basic post itself can be pretty simple. So that's what we'll look at. So from your dashboard, you're gonna click on posts. I also always like to have the media library open so I can grab content from there. I would recommend that once you have one blog post done, that you would, instead of starting from scratch, let's just clone that. So you don't have, you'll have some blocks in there that you could overwrite or use again, but a lot of the conventions that you want to use every time will be there. So we'll clone. And then you would edit and just update the things you want to. To show you some of the blocks you can add, I'm just going to start from scratch on another new draft. Similar to adding a page, the title you give it is going to determine the URL. So test blog post 1. And then your categories are important for how you can group them later on down the road. So if you need to create one for different groups or topics or whatever, this is where you do that. This is also, if you ever decided down the road to feature the blog posts on the home page, you could use that plugin that will route the blog post you choose to a container that you can add on the home page or whatever page. All right, so once you're in here, and so with posts, you're not going to use Elementor. So you're never going to edit with Elementor for a blog post. Once you click into any space here, you click the plus symbol, and then you have a ton of different blocks that you can add. You could use this photo plugin that we have, paragraphs, headings, bolded lists, quotes, images if you want to embed a YouTube video, buttons, groups, columns, tons of stuff here, and you kind of find the ones that you love and use those. Grouping is something I have not used a lot, but it's great because if you want to move around content, you're moving one sort of grouping of stuff instead of having to move the different elements individually. Like I said, I haven't used that a ton, so I'm going to stay away from that one for now. But if you are doing a lot of blogging, I would definitely get good at that. So let's just do a simple post. So start with heading. Choose the size here. And just to make it look more realistic, I'm going to grab content from one of the pages on the site. So once I've entered my heading, I just hit return, and then I can add a new block. So we'll do a paragraph. And we'll grab a bunch of that content. And you can see that depending on the formatting that something has, sometimes you can just paste in content and it will add, for example, now it's seeing this paragraph as a bolted list. If you ever do have trouble with formatting, there's a number of ways you can do this, but you basically want to strip that formatting. The easiest way I do it is I'll throw it into a Gmail draft, and you can select all the text and remove the formatting that way. But if you just do a search for, there's many websites that will do that for you. The way to get away from it is just to create within the blog post. So once we have our title, we have our text. Let's add in that picture. So we can do return, hit add, hit image. You can upload a new image, or you can go to your gallery. Add that one. And it's pretty big. I'll usually, with images like this, within the post, I'll go down to 200 or 150. And then I'll usually choose, you can choose to align left or right, and then decide where it's going to sit. Another common button that or block that I'll use is buttons. You want to make it obvious where you want people to click. Find the background color that you like, text color, something that has a lot of contrast. Click on that itself to add the link. All things that you're probably pretty familiar with. Last block that I use a lot is the separator, just to give you a clear break between topics. Actually, we'll show you the last one is if you have a YouTube link, grab one of the instructional videos I've been making for you. Link to this one. And you enter the URL, hit embed, and there it is. Once you're ready, or nearing ready, preview, and before it's published anywhere, you can see what it's actually going to look like. One last piece that we didn't do is you can, on the right side here, if you're in a block, over here on the right, you have the block settings. And then just to get back to the post settings, you have to click there, and then you'll see all of those. One thing you'll always want to do is do a featured image. This is one of the things that changes all the time, but you do is Google search to see what the recommended size is for featured image posts. I'll just grab one of our header images because I know they're plenty big, probably too big. And we can preview that. And then if you do decide at some point to re-add a blog page to the site, this is how it would show up. The name of the blog post, and then your featured image. So there's, again, a ton of other things you can add. Quote, something I've used often in the verse just to get different text. Median text is a helpful one. If you want to add a file, just a link to like a PDF. So lots of options.